Steve Evans, Leyton Orient, it's a huge, huge game.
Yeah, like, there's no denying that in any football league in the world, when top plays second, it's always seen as the premier game. It's certainly the premier game of the weekend, although if you look at the top 10, they're all, I think 8 of them are playing each other or very much around that group. So, but in isolation, nothing will be win or lost on Saturday in terms of promotion where it is, but we get an opportunity to play at home, which is great. Seems a long time ago. And we get the opportunity to compete against a side that I think will ultimately be runaway league winners, like I've said all along.
And you talk about playing at home, we'll go straight into the crowd, a sellout at the Lamex. Does that bring any different pressures for you?
No, it doesn't bring different pressures to me. I mean, 48,000 sellers at Ellen Road don't bring you pressures. So it doesn't bring you pressure, but I think it's testament to the job the players have done. I think to come in and have crowds, we're probably going to have 3.5 times the crowd on Saturday that what we come in and experience. So that's credit to two situations for me. Number one, the dressing room, the players, they've deserved it with the performances, and secondly, the supporters, to convince people around them or supporters that ain't been around for a while. And I've never hidden it. I've said it many times. If I'd been watching the last 4 years, I'd shut the curtains if it was the bottom of the garden. But the curtain's very much open here now, and just the support in and around the town. Not even before Aston Villa, the support has been growing remarkably every week. So we look forward to big travelling support. Leyton Orient fans always get right behind the team as well, so they'll have a great atmosphere for the players.
You played them obviously just a few weeks ago, and the quirk of the fixture list has brought them back again. Are you preparing any differently because of what you saw in that game in December?
Well, we were so lucky to get a point now. We were very grateful. We said it, and we could get nothing Saturday. They're such a good team. They've got plethora of options. It shows you the wealth they have within the group and within the club. Thank you to the chairman that they can lose 2 very established centre backs and then go and sign 2 very quickly. And so there'll be no weaknesses here and there, Alma. But we have learnt a lot from the game we played against them. The players will have learned a lot. And, as I said, we never drew that game or dropped points there. We learnt something. We learnt something about Leyton Orient. And what we know is that at the minute, they are statistically improving it week on week. They are the best team in the league. And we need to try and see how far away we are from them.
It seems like it's a match, because of the expectation from the crowd, that is going to be won as much in the head as it is with the feet and the ball. How do you approach that sort of game with the expectation so high? Yeah,
I think, listen, I don't. This is one of these weeks in training. We don't need to speak to our players about the importance of playing Leyton Orient. I think Richie would have the same type of conversations I have when you tend to play clubs, and I've been one of those clubs in the bottom half of the league, but you tend to say to your players mentally, you have to approach it as if you're playing a top team. Well, we are playing the league leaders, so it doesn't come any much tougher for us. But mentally, we'll be focused on the job. The players have to play with their heads as well as their hearts. So I've heard it said the opposite way, but if you don't play with your heart, you shouldn't be playing football. And that doesn't matter whether you're a professional or an amateur, you've got to play with your heart. But we have to play with our heads as well, and do much better than we've done in our last away game at Harrogate, and probably take our form from last 10 minutes of Villa, if I could say it, and probably our form from the 2 home games in spells, not for 90, but in spells, and then we'll see where that takes us.
Well, it's what you've said before previously, and it's playing smart when you've got the ball.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what let us down at Harrogate. It certainly wasn't a lack of desire or effort. People seen that in the most dreadful conditions. And we made enough chances. We made certainly 2 clear-cut chances at 1-0 to have that game put to bed. But we have an opportunity to get a win at home. That would add 10 a point away from home on the back of 2 wins at home. So it's important we go out there and we play with real vigour, and we give our supporters a reason to be right behind us, and a real reason to be back here in our league game. Forget the fact that many will travel to Stoke City in the Cup, but and forget that we'll take some supporters down to Swindon on Tuesday, but to be back 2 weeks' time when we entertain a real good Bradford side.
I mean, you mentioned the performance at Harrogate wasn't what you would have wanted. You've had a fantastic, we've spoken many times this season about how you've always seemed to bounce back very quickly after performances like that, but a lot of that is player-led. have the players had meetings between themselves that you know of?
Well, I think they've certainly had conversations. We've had it in and around the building and in and around on the training pitches. We need to be much better, but we had that on Saturday in the dressing room, to be fair. We had very few words to say other than the standards have not been maintained today. And standards is as well as it can be collective and set by myself and the staff, it's an individual thing. I think individually we were a notch down, that makes it a collective down. But anyone who watched the game, you need to listen to the Harrogate manager's words afterwards. We were very, very fortunate to take a point. They'll take it, but we should have put the game to bed. And it shows as you go forward in the season that when chances come, you need to take a higher percentage of them because they get fewer. So, and that's what we didn't do at Harrogate. Because if we'd got a second goal, we'd probably win 3-0 or 2-0, and it's a great 3 points. I was especially proud of them coming out of Villa Park, which is all the build up to Villa, all the scenes on the day with the late win, what it meant to them as individuals. That's memories for a lifetime. And my words to them is you'll never, ever, ever forget Villa Park, but you'll forget Harrogate by Wednesday. I hope I'm right.
Probably are. Training wise this week, I guess it's been a good buzz. Everyone fit and ready to go.
Yeah, buzzing. We were on obviously out on Monday. We couldn't get out Tuesday because of the weather. The pitches were all frozen up, but you can see the boys we brought them in a bit later today, so the pitches will be perfect when we go out in about an hour's time. And we need to be out and we need to do that work and we need to be prepared. You have to be prepared coming up against Richie Wellens and Paul Terry and the players that they've got. People talk about Richie, the job he's done. I'm the first to commend it, along with Paul, but what a squad they've got. They've got multiple, plethora of options that they can play here. And we're not too bad either. So it does have the hallmarks of a real good game. Let's hope that everyone goes out and says, what a brilliant advert for League Two, and it would be great if they're at the back of us winning. I think, everyone knows if the result goes against us, that gap opens up, that runaway scenario, Evans is right again scenario, but it's true. But we need to do our best to get 3 points, to keep our targeted per game average of points up, and that's important we win.
Alex Gilby was the one injury doubt. You said he should be training this week.
Yeah, he's fine. Alex has trained all week, so there's been no issue to him. We have late yesterday. I did get permission for David Amir to speak to another club in League Two. So David's having a chat this morning. So he's not with us. If David doesn't want to get through with that, he's such a good kid. If he don't want to get through with it, he knows my thoughts. He'll be in the squad tomorrow for sure. But if he decides to get through with it, then David's contract situation is up at the end of the season. He's got a young family. He conducts himself impeccably, and he needs to play football. So we've respected that. Our chairman did, because I don't get involved in what the offers are, what the deals are. But the chairman said he felt as a club we could let that happen. It was up to me, so I gave that permission. If
he does go, that would mean 3 out and 3 in. Do you still need to extend the squad slightly?
Oh yeah, we're working so hard now. I think we said we're waiting on someone to replace Saxon. That's just getting held up because their deal to get someone in has been held up, only because somebody's got slight strain. So we're not picking all them, but we're trying to bring 2 or 3 into the group. That may take, of course, up until deadline day. We'd rather have them today to help us against Leyton Orient and help the dressing room. But so we looked at our numbers today. We've got real good numbers in every position, and the fact that Jonathan JT's come into the group and he can play anywhere across that back line with the Golden Cup on the left. So there's no issues about what we do. It's just got to be what we do has got to be right.
And just finally, Elliot List as well. I know we spoke a couple of weeks ago and you said you were waiting on news on him, and that could dictate what happens.
No, Ellie's on the grass from next week, which is an amazing recovery from where he's been, and then we'll track that for 3 to 4 weeks to see whether that progress maintains, and if it does, he wouldn't be far away. If there's any side issues, because it's never then about the injury sustained, it's then about other associated, hamstrings, groins, different things, that calves that tend to not being walked to the level that Elliot wants to. So, and if that happens, then I'll make a decision to take him out. But that'll be a tough decision because we've missed Listy for sure.